and you do some as head coaches, and as assistant. How many guys here are head coaches? We have more assistant coaches here than head coaches. All right. What are you as a head coach or you as an assistant coach? What are the qualities you bring to the table? What are your strengths? And as a leader, you need to recognize what your weaknesses are, and then hire guys, surround yourself with guys around you that help you make your weaknesses strengths. All right? That's extremely important. Once you find them, hire assistants that can make you better and have either opposite what you have or the weaknesses you have that their strengths are. Don't necessarily hire guys also that are just like you in philosophy. You want guys that are opposite of you in philosophy, but you want guys that aren't afraid to say, I think we should do this a different way. And then you have that conversation. All right? I have a coach, Tom Ripley, coached our 2022 team. He's this high energy, no nonsense businessman, extremely successful, very intense, does more with his team than any other team in our program. He came to me last year and said, I'm getting to the point, and then this is a 6th grade coach, just finished his 5th grade year, I am beyond, the players are now beyond my offensive capabilities. It was a very impressive thing for a guy who's extremely successful in business, has a very good team, lost 2 games last year all year long. At the end of the season, my evaluation, he goes, I need to find somebody else to help me offensively. Who can help me? Who knows enough to help me with my team? We went out and found a guy that was assistant coach for the Chesapeake Bayhawks to help his team. And one of the reasons why that guy came was because of Tom's organizational skills. But I was very impressed. This guy came to me, who's a very successful coach, and says, I need help. And he's saying, Matt, in another year or 2, each year, you've got to hire me better coaches because in 7th or 8th grade, I'm going to become the manager of this team. Because I'm not a good enough coach to coach 8th graders, right, what they need to do. So I think it's very impressive that he was able to do that. What are your roles as staff? Right? What are your roles? Who does offense? Who does defense? I had a 3rd grade team. My 3rd grade team always has more than enough coaches because every dad wants to coach. So we have like one year, I think we had 6 or 8 coaches a team. The parents were killing me because every single coach on the sideline was yelling at the kid with the ball or the kid with the catch the ball. So he's hearing all different voices from all different sides. So I pulled the coach aside and said, what's going to do? Pick an offensive coordinator, pick a defensive coordinator, pick a box coach, and you. Nobody else talks to the players in the field. That's it. Right? Head coach, guy that runs the offense, guy that runs the defense, and the box coach. That's it. All your other guys can talk to the kids that come off the field. When you're in offense, you or your offensive coach will talk to the players, nobody else. When you're on defense, the defensive coach and you, only 2 should talk to the defensive guys. That's it. All right? It reduces the noise. What are you need a guy that's heavy. You need a guy that pushes kids, that challenges kids, that gets after kids, that makes kids feel uncomfortable. Right? There's nothing wrong with making a kid feel uncomfortable. The only way we grow ourselves and kids is by doing things you're uncomfortable doing. Right? But you need somebody in your staff that walks over, puts his arm around that kid, slaps him in the ass, it's going to be okay. Right? That arm put around or that ass slapper has to be supportive of the other coaches, the staff, but he also builds the kids back up. Right? There's nothing wrong with challenging kids, pushing kids, and that kind of stuff, but you need somebody in your staff that puts the arm around kids. Who's your offense, who's your defense, who's your organizational guy? I got head coaches that are absolutely pathetic with their organizational skills. But I put a real good team model with them to do all the emails, do all the communication about waivers for tournaments, communicate when practices are, and we have another coach who's not very good at it. He has an assistant coach who's very good at it. Who's going to be the admin guy? Right? And then I think you've got to put them on paper, meet with your staff, be very, very clear with whose roles, who has what roles, and then you got to make sure they stay within those roles. When they step outside those roles, either change them or whack the coach. All right? Provide opportunity to develop your staff. The word we use a ton right now is develop. We develop our players individually. We're developing our teams through practice. We're developing our players individually through skill sessions. We're developing players through team, through practice. And we'll develop our coaches with sessions like these, offer them to go to the national convention, offer to go to IMLCA convention, go to clinics. You know, we're fortunate in our area, Navy, Maryland, Hopkins, I think 2 other schools in the Baltimore, D.C. area offer coaches clinics. So I'm telling my guys, you got to go to a coaches clinic, all right? Or go videos, or you support them. I sit down and teach them. We did more of that this year than I've ever done before. I sat down. We have B teams. We haven't always had B teams. B teams are new to us. And one of the things we have to do is we develop our B team coaches. And so we've sat down and spent more time. More time in my office at nighttime after trials were over. I met with staffs, 2020 group, the B team and the A team coaches, and going over how to teach defense. Right? I do differently than everybody else. I really want because the 2020 coaches asked me to help them coach this fall. I said, fine, but I'm gonna run practices. I want to do the philosophy the way I do things. Here's what I want to do. Are you okay with it? Yes. And we met to make sure the same page. It's been great. It's been very, very good. All right. So I'm providing that. Who and what is your team? What is your team made up of? What do you want your team to look like? And you really can't, we all have philosophies we want to do, but are you going to select your team at tryouts based on your philosophy or based on the best players there? There's got to be some mixture there, right? Once your team's picked, you may want to do things differently than you've done it in the past. You may want to be a running team. You want to be a 6-on-6 team. You may want to be a team that goes out and chases guys defensively. You may want to be a conservative sliding defense. Whatever you want to be, how do you want to do it? When I was coaching at St. Mary's High School, when I was there for the first 6 years, we were really a 6-on-6 team. We slid and support defensively, we didn't go pressure people. Offensively, we wanted to get our sets, get our matchups in, control the ball, run our plays, run our motion offense. We were very deliberate and very systematic. We got a crop of really good kids coming into the school, like 2 years, 3 years in a row. And we met after the 2007 season and said, this team's going to be different. We're really talented. And we have some defensive guys that put the ball on the ground. We have a goalie that catches everything. I mean, there's a real difference. A goalie that's a stopper, that blocks everything, and you have rebounds all the time. It's tough to be a transition team when that happens. When you get a goalie that catches the ball, you got a much better chance of being a transition team. So I went to the national convention that year. I went to every single transition offensive talk I could go to. Anything like because I wasn't very good at that. I was pretty good at this, 6-on-6 here and 6-on-6 here. So we spent a lot of time developing what we wanted to do. And we did something very different and we learned at that convention was, you know, the design has always been in transition. You know, the midi comes down, he had a third. He throws into an attackman, who throws into an attackman, then you put this guy there, and everything goes, we did this. We did something completely different. The ball never went behind. The ball never went behind because I had a left-handed shooter, I had a right-handed shooter, and I had a crease attack. I didn't have a feeder. So we completely changed how we played defense. We put more pressure on the ball. We changed how we played offense. We wanted to run. We wanted the shot, if we could, in the first 10 to 15 seconds of offense. I wanted a shot when our defensive middies were still on the field. Our long pole, he was in transition. Our short poles were in transition. So we did shooting drills that spring. Our long pole went to shooting drills. Our defensive middies went to shooting drills. Our practices were completely different. We changed our drills, we changed what we did. We made it very clear from the very first practice, this is who we're going to be. The kids were very, very excited about it. Now, because we shoot the ball in the first 10 seconds or 15 seconds of offense, doesn't mean we become undisciplined. If we don't have a shot then we stop, make ourselves get there. But we made a huge transitional change, and we had to communicate that. I sat down with my guys who the 2007 season's over, and we agreed to be like, we met in the summer, we met in the fall, we met with our kids, we changed our practice plans, we changed our offensive playbook. But we were very clear, and also, and most significantly is, from the very first day, we made it very clear this is who we were going to be. All right, and they bought into that.